lineup of Niner Esports, Sport Boy 63 in the top lane, Breezy Bay in the jungle, Dunlop in the mid lane, and the bottom lane of Personify of Red and Cream Soda. Cream Soda, I believe, played in some OQs this time around.
Yeah, and looking at this roster and kind of looking at the meta has evolved into, my personal most important thing to watch is this bot lane matchup, right? Personify and Cream Soda need to get the lead. There are a bunch of good, solid AD carry picks at the moment, right? The Varus, the Jinx coming back, Crit got buffed. We're on a new patch. Zeri is really good right now. I think you need to have that bot lane winning matchup for you guys to really kind of get things going. I think we're seeing the evolution of the meta as the patches go on. And yeah, my eyes are glued to this bot lane of Red and Cream Soda.
Yeah, especially when you have a player that strong in the form of Cream Soda. You will always avert your eyes down there. And the second roster we have is, of course, RIT. We've got Haxer up in the top lane, Maxander in the jungle, Hockey in the mid lane, Arkezis and Zetas in bottom and support. And remember, we saw these guys before. We were highly impressed with guys like Haxer and Maxander.
Exactly. I think Haxer has been doing a really good job in that top lane, generating his own leads, but also calling for the jungler, calling for Maxander, and we've got RIT on the blue side.
Should be pretty exciting. We are going to see Aurelia the first thing off the board. So clearly the scouting has worked here. They're going after Ryuki very early on. I mean, why not, right? This player's going to come off the bench cold, get thrown into the fire. It's like, all right, well, you know what? We're going to target that guy. You know what? It makes a lot of sense, right? This is exactly what you do. You don't care how you get the win. You don't care if some might think dishonorable or anything like that. No, you go out there and you win the game.
Yeah, and especially giving Haxor a favorable matchup, right? There's probably very few champions he's afraid, or let's say he doesn't want to really try to go in blind. So if you can give him like a really good blindable champion, because he's most likely not going to be able to get a counter pick here, that's really good, right? I think stuff like the Cassante, Aatrox, right? Those kind of champions, Rumble even very, very good into a lot of the meta champions at the moment. Is the Niners are actually just going to ban away Maxander's champion pool, the Viego, the Velvet, these kind of things, limiting the amount of influence he can have in the game on these more, carry-orientated junglers, right? Maxander, one of those players that benefits from the fact that his top laner is so good. He gets some of those kills. He can then invade onto you with top pressure. He can then pick up some kills into the mid lane, right? Direct benefactor of the top pressure and using that perfectly.
Yeah. This dude can hard carry a game, and you know it. Again, you know what? This is good homework done by Niner Esports over here, taking out that Aatrox, but it does mean we will see a first pick Jinx coming through, as you predicted, looking to be a little bit more of a reset comp. Let me ask you something real quick. Obviously, the Belveth's band, that fits into a reset comp, right? You get your parkour and you run around.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I would say that's kind of a reset comp, right? Like, it's a little delayed, but it works. But we do see the Aphelios answer here. And Yanni, I'm afraid to say it, but I think we're back to Jinx, Aphelios, and Xayah, the snooze fest with the Enchanters. We had our fun. There's a lot of Kalista, a lot of Varus, but we're coming back into crit AD carries, and we're coming back to front-to-back 20-minute team fights between these guys.
Yeah. So I'm not that big of a fan of it, mostly because I can't play Aphelios to save my life. But it is really fun to watch in the hands of a very talented player. Even if there's a couple of things that happen, you're like, man, really? Is this really happening? We are seeing Milio and Vi get picked up on the other side, so I like both of these picks in the support role. I like the Vi pickup here as well. We talked about it earlier and how useful it can be. This does give the opportunity for the Niners to ban out some of these strong mid lane combinations that come through with Vi. And we do see that Lee Sin as well. So these teams have clearly been watching high-level play, as they are pretty high-level players themselves, and taking a page out of their books.
Yeah, Silence being taken away here. You expect the Ahri or the Talia being banned out as well, but a solid 1 through 3 for both of these guys. Locking in support, locking in jungle. I like the lockdown coming out from the Tigers here. Vi plus Jinx guarantees or nearly guarantees the reset. Stacking the Milio on top allows them to abuse the rocket range even more when you throw the Cozy Campfire on. So this composition is going to be very hard to reach. And I know the Lee Sin is shifty, he can move around, but I feel like you need some guaranteed lockdown for this Jinx here. It almost feels akin to Azaria, where if you can't lock her down, she's just going to fire away with lethal tempo and eventually get the reset and keep going.
Yeah, and one of the things I question here is the Talia ban from RIT. I know that they're not going to be picking first out of the second half of the draft, but you know I didn't think Talia would be that fantastic on the Niners team, and that left the door wide open for Ari to get picked up.
Yeah, banning that Talia away preemptively, like you mentioned, leaves Ari open. Maybe there's an Annie angle for RIT here,
True.
Right? Like maybe they can lock that in.
I like this
Nico
too.
as well. A champion that me and you feel like has not seen a lot of presence recently, right? In tier 2 and higher level play. It feels like everybody and their mom was playing Nico Nocturne, Nico whatever, and then it just kind of fell in priorities. We do see the Zac coming in. That's going to go into the top side. And that champion, my friend, is still very, very good. High base damages, can get onto anybody, right? The Aphelios, the Lulu, and we're going to see that Olaf counter pick potentially coming in here. I like this composition from RIT, right? Big enough lockdown, a lot of CC, 1 kill, and the party gets started for Jinx.
Yeah, and Jinx is going to have plenty of space to be able to work with, right? Because of the sack, because of the spy. Nico ultimate. You know how much space that creates? A lot of space, my friend. You ever see a Nico ultimate before in your life? Like, it's just going to be a fantastic time here for Arkezis as we have made it on to Summoner's Rift here, Shibby. Game 1 in this best of 3 series between RIT and Niner Esports. Remember, the winner will be moving on to the finals.
Yeah, a lot to play for here for both of these teams. And it's funny, right, that we set up the thing of like, oh, Haxor is going to be the big carry. He's going to get a really lane dominant matchup. He's going to look to put on the carry pants. But it's actually Arkezis and Zetas here getting the arguably favorable matchup with the Jinx and the Milio. And you look on the side of the Niners, they're running the Aphelios Lulu, who eventually will become a threat later on, obviously, because of the nature of their champions. So it's kind of funny that they kind of took the backseat and they said, you know what? We'll do good regardless. Just focus that mid lane, that mid 2v2 here. The Ahri Lee Sin, very, very strong. I would argue beats out Vi Nico pretty easily, as long as your mechanics are on point.
Yep, that is really the name of AD carry, right? Your mechanics need to be on point and good to go. Haxor is going to find that his passive might get popped here. He will be forced to flash. I think that's why he's being able to retain that passive. It is a little hard at times to be able to actually close out a kill on Zac. But with the top side that the Niners have, maybe it'll be a little easier.
We should see a splitting of the jungle right now. If Max Anders smart, he will just start to split. And yeah, there's Ryuki just... Haxor?
Yeah, Haxor's in a lot of trouble here with the Ghost. That means this... Oh, I like this little setup here. This is so smart. Look at this, man. This dude's a genius. It's going to be first blood picked up for the substitute coming in. That is Ryuki.
And the big thing with Zac is that he can trade super early because he has the blobs. He has the ability, and yeah, not Ryugi, Mare 4 or Mare, and that Olaf loves to do that, right? Wants to trade with you. You want to scrap level 1 Undertow plus my passive? Yeah, I'm down to fight anytime, anywhere. And that last R5 counterpick coming into the Zac, Haxor has lost his flash, he's lost his passive, his ignite. He's lost all ability to get any priority in this lane, which is what Zacs want to do. They want to scrap and they want to get lane priority. He can't do that anymore.
No, he is, Zac just has completely lost hope up in the top side. Meanwhile, Personify of Red certainly putting down some damage. There was a heal burnt down there, but Hockey is in a little bit of trouble here. Can't dodge out the Charm, can't dodge out the Lee Sin Q. That root's not going to help you too much. Meanwhile, the bottom side, we are seeing a trade of kills. AD carries down, but Max Ander is here to clean up. He's looking for the cream soda in his sights. You just got to pay for it at the register. Oh! He will be forced to flash fish out of the spare change from his pocket. He will be able to buy that cream soda and drink it and enjoy it.
take a penny, give a penny, right? It's like one of those things, where, like short ascent.
I've used them before.
Maxander picking up 2 big kills, right? Both bottom laners, like you said, going down here. None of the AD carries actually picked up the kills. So a positive trade for RIT here. Maxander 2 kills on the Vi. Should be able to scrap with the Lee Sin if they find each other. Very well played. But so far, the Niners have been doing pretty solid, right? Mid 2v2, getting the flash out of Hockey and picking up the kill there puts a lot of pressure on this NECC. She can't play as far pushed up anymore, and Mare is just putting in the work right now into Haxor. Like, well, I don't really know what he can do.
Yeah, he's the mayor of top lane right now, and is certainly causing a lot of problems for our friend Zach. Flash burnt. He's going to have to full commit for this. Maxander is here to try to avenge his fallen top lane friend, but even Maxander knows that there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, you don't fight an Olaf. Half health, 25% health, Olaf. No, you don't go for that ever, right? Unless it's guaranteed it doesn't have some of his abilities up, because that guy just gets. It feels like he just gets stronger and stronger the lower his health goes. True berserker faction here, and right now, Haxor having a rough time. Right, has to play the tank, has to play something more facilitating in these team fights, and this Olaf just coming in big here. Mare doing a damn good job right now, keeping one of the big win conditions that we talked about under wraps for RIT.
Yeah, and also becoming a win condition himself. We know what a really fed Olaf can do in the mid game, showing up to like top grubs or something like that. Obviously, he's not going to get that opportunity right now, as Maxander is wisely going to take those while the top laner is away. The jungler not in position either. So for RIT, you're at least getting something here, but Breezy Bay has decided, you know what, maybe this is happening. Dunlop has a move here, which means Maxander will only get 1.
Yeah, you're probably looking to trade just 2 for 4 here if you're RIT. The split push, not that effective as we flash over the gold. And the thing that draws to my eyes is Mare, a cool 1,000 gold over his counterpart right now. Absolutely dominating that top lane matchup. The rest is looking relatively even. It's manageable for the rest of the guys here. So a lot of that gold lead. It's a 2-level difference and 1,000 gold, right? A lot of that sequestered onto the Niners top laner here. And why not?
Yeah, Haxor had as much gold as cream soda for a very short time. That is not what you would like to see out of your solo laner. You know, obviously less than 6 minutes into the game, but it gives you a little bit of an indication of how things are going, right?
And Haxor just trying to scrap together as much CS as he can possible, right? 2 deaths will do it to you. No TP available as well, right? Took the Ignite, expecting to try to win this lane and outvalue the Olaf, but that early trade, that early flash being used into the level 1 scrap just kind of sealed his fate there, and both junglers are going to hover down into this bottom side. We talked about how important it is. Jinx getting the leg up in this matchup is so important because you can start resetting. You have more effective team fight power come later on as Maxander out in the mid lane.
Yeah, you know, this sneaker ultimate's not going to help you when Olaf is Ragnarok in the house.
Yeah, invulnerable, unCCable. He would love to be in your face there. And Hockey ganked by Breezy Bay, ganked by Mare. Pretty soon he'll be ganked by Red, and Cream Soda is now a 1v1 in the top side. Oh,
Haxor is winning this 1v1 for right now. The shield is not enough. Haxor will claim that large shutdown. That's why he fed the first 2 kills. It was so he could claim the shutdown later.
Big brain, getting more gold later on. That Ignite doing wonders. We talked about what it could do if he was able to actually lane properly level 1, and you see the power, right? Doesn't matter how much lifesteal you have, Zach will always get more, right? As long as he's playing around the blobs here. And so Mare, unfortunately, does fall down after that nice roam into the mid lane. I mean, Hockey, oh my lord!
Another nice move here. Hockey might be able to find a way out. Will be able to dodge out on the charm, stay alive. It burns the flash of Breezy Bay. So, you know, again, it's a flash for flash.
I think Flash's uptime for Hockey has been a minute, maybe less than that. Yeah.
Uptime, you say? Like, are you sure it's been up? It feels like it's been down all game.
Yeah, it's only been up for a minute total in this whole game. It's been burned every single time, right? Breezy Bay originally came in at around 2.5 minutes, got the gank off, and then right when it comes back up, Hockey again has to burn the flash. Like, this guy is playing with teleport only, it feels like.
Yeah, and when you're only playing with one summoner, it doesn't feel that great. Just ask Haxer earlier on without the Ignite. Another 1v1 going down as Mara is just not afraid of the giant green blob, as he can just hit him up for quite some time. As Haxer is just taking more and more damage, Shibby.
Yeah, the big thing about this matchup is that Undertow allows you to safely trade into the Zac, right? You start with the Undertow, you pick it back up, you rotate your abilities, and keep Undertowing him. It's hard for Zac to kind of use his range, use his Q, his W to get in on you if you're kind of, poking him out, let's say, with that ability. And so Maxander is going to try to fancy himself a lane gank, although they're going to spot it out, I believe. They know he's there. I'm pretty sure I saw a red ward on the bottom side.
Yep. You can see it right there on your mini-map. You see the pings going out as well. And up on the top side, once again, we do the dance, but Haxer is just far too strong. Look at his components. He's got a bramble vest, and, he's got his little fire. He's just burning everybody. It's a good time up there. Breezy Bay is going to try to take the challenge next here. The turret shots are certainly helping out. The kick, will he be able to try to find a way to get away? He dodges out on the Q. The ward hop does mean that the blobs will get triggered here. Will he be able to kill him? It looks like he gets back up here. He just needs to dodge out on like one more Q. He flashes. Can he turn this fight? He's got plenty of minions. Haxer might be able to turn this. 1 second here. Lanes the Q. Oh! Haxer! Holy moly!
The great green glob of hope in the top side. Haxer, he may be down, he may lose a couple 1v1s, but he's never quite out, showing the power of Zac here from 0-2 to 3-2. What a better comeback story in the top side for him, right?
Oh, no, yeah. Listen, I've heard and watched some great comeback stories in my time, but Haxer is on another level. Maxander is up here, too, to try to help him out. Ragnarok is not available for Olaf, which means he's just caught here. He's in so much trouble. Zac is just ridiculously strong for what he brings to the table. Almost able to kill the jolly pink giant here, but Maxander will be able to close out on that kill.
Yeah, Prince Bubblegum in the top lane. Haxer just putting in work. Prince Bubblegum, he's pink, right? Doing wonders in that top side. And if you look over to the bot lane, Arceus and Zetas are doing their job, right? They're comfortably up in CS, just about 20 here for themselves. They've been managing that bottom side, and the gold has evened up. It was 1,000 gold lead for the Niners not too long ago, and now we see RIT in the lead, and they're still holding on to a lot of the good, pieces on their team, right? Hockey, Arceus, these kind of guys will still be relevant, right? Later on in these fights. Nico Ultimate is still going to be something you have to play around. It's going to lock you down. It's going to keep you in place. And this Jinx is just going to be able to reset. The big thing here for me is how do the Niners get onto this Jinx come these team fights, right? Flash Ghost is available. You've also got the Milio in tow. I think it's going to be a tough task for the Niners.
Oh, for sure. I think Haxer's going to come in and cause a lot of problems too. I mean, look at what he's building. Look at the champions on the side of the Niners. He's going to be nigh unkillable. Ragnarok available this time. It's going to get used. Teleport coming in, but it's a match teleport here from Hockey. Dunlop is going to get here first and be able to pick up the first kill. Hockey is here as Olaf will finally go down, but now a new challenger approaches. Double root goes down, but a great Lee Sin kick flashing back in as Hockey. It couldn't kill anybody, but Haxer is so hard to kill. That being said, Dunlop has a lot of magic damage, but if you miss a charm, I don't think you're going to be able to close out on a kill.
Top lane skirmish of the ages. These guys, Dunlop hits the
Haxer?
Charm?
Wait!
Off the ward!
Yo, you can do that?
Yeah! Yeah! Hey, I can tell you don't play Zac.
I don't play Zac, bro. You've seen my champion pool. That's crazy.
Pulled him with the control ward here. Way to use your environment, Haxor, flexing his muscles and his knowledge onto the Zac here. As Maxander is just here to clear out that bottom side, although this Aphelios has hit the Kraken Slayer for himself. I have yet to see this Lulu Aphelios in a team fight, so I'm having my reservations. Yeah, Haxor can jump onto the Aphelios. You have ways down, but if he's fighting with red and white, it could be rough. Get what I asked for here, 3v4.
Yeah, you are going to get what you asked for. A couple of flashes burnt here. Actually, it was just Aphelios' flash. and a Dragon Secure for RIT, the Rochester Institute of Dark Technology, because look at the healing that Haxor puts out, but he ends up getting rocked down, chopped down, as when I thought a fight was going to be won by Haxor, it is instead won by Mare.
Yeah, these two guys just going at it back and forth here. It's funny, right? Haxor lost that fight when he had worse components. With the Sunfire, with the belt, he ends up losing it to the Olaf here. Sundered Sky in hand is, yeah, just Sundered Sky. Okay. No, it's not. As we see 4 members of the Niners trying to take down Arceus and Zydus. They know it's a ticking time bomb for this Jinx. They know Breezy Bay's down here. Don't walk up, guys.
I don't know if they did know, and that's a great kick from Breezy Bay. Double knockups. He's going to follow Arceus. Arceus still alive and will stay alive. So good defense on the dive, but a lot of summoners burnt.
Hockey getting some alone time here. Dunlop did use his roam time and try to pressure bot here. Breezy Bay kind of just relentless with that flash, right? Opting into flash kick almost every single time.
Yeah.
Taking out the Jinx flash here is Maxander. With that knowledge of Breezy Bay in the bot side, is going to opt in for the Rift Herald, but if it gets a little hairy, is he going to go help out his top laner? Mare in a 1v2 situation.
Yeah, he's got to try, as looks like he will be able to at least help out some. Cease and desist going to go down. I don't know if the healing's going to be enough, and it won't be. Maxander will claim his 4th kill of the game. This top side for RIT, a lot of money in the pockets right now, but the team is still down 1,000 gold.
Yeah, we talked about it too, right? Haxor is going to have to be that big carry, even on the Zac. He's going to have to initiate some of these team fights to get onto the carries of Red, of Cream Soda, of Dunlop potentially, to try to swing these fights in his favor. He's doing a good job right now, putting a lot of pressure on that top side here. Haxor, a relentless machine right now. 3 members have come to answer him.
Yeah, he is a big nuisance. He even took some of the gold away. They said, I don't know if you wanted to follow that, because Zydus is here to help him out. Personality of Red, ready to go. Dunlop teleporting from behind. Hockey, the big knockup, will be able to claim 1. Breezy Bay's a little low, get some shielding. Olaf in the area as well. Still a chance if the Niners want to fight this, but Dunlop is on the wrong side of the tracks right now. Does have that Spirit Rush available, does have Flash too. Trying to get some poke damage out, but he's going to have to try to link up with his team soon. Spirit Rush, he gets caught anyway. Flash burnt as well. He gets pulled back in. Only 1 man gets rooted, but Breezy Bay on the side was all alone, and he goes down. They managed to kill Haxor, but the Cell division means that he's still alive for a little bit longer. The question is, can they protect the Zac? Ragnarok, and he popped. Zac goes down. Next time, Maxander, he flashes away, but this Olaf is lumbering forward. He cannot land a second axe. He gets knocked back and rooted. That means nothing more for the Niners.
You saw the potential of the Niners team fight there, right? With the Lulu, with the Olaf, it can be really tough to stop him. Red is just going to pick up that mid lane, as we saw Arceus on that bottom side pick up the tier 1. So a trade of tier 1 turrets here, a trade of CS. But so far, RIT in the lead right now. 1,000 gold separates these two teams. It hasn't gotten higher than that. Both of these teams neck and neck so far in game 1. Putting their eggs in different baskets, let's say. Dunlop, 2 kills to his name, 3 assists, has been roaming around the map trying to help everybody out. But RIT, they've got a game plan. It's topside, topside, topside. Feed Haxor the machine, and he will win us the game. Everybody else just has to follow up. And you saw how easy Hockey's job was. Once some of the, initial CC lands, he comes in over the top with that supplementary Pop Blossom and just guarantees the kill onto the Niners.
Yeah, and that's just what the least impactful one probably. The most impactful ones are going to be the ones that are going to be, starting the fights or knocking out multiple members. So, I mean, if your upside on a Pop Blossom is, hey, we are making sure that this is a winnable fight to start off the jump, you are absolutely doing your job. So credit to Hockey, who had a really tough early game. As we are doing this one more time, I can never tell if it's just going to be a wet noodle fight or if they're actually going to commit, but it looks like they are going to commit here. Mare going to try to chase him down. Ragnarok gets popped, so no knockups or anything, but I fear that Zac might just do a little too much damage. It was close, but no cigar for the Olaf.
And the thing is, he doesn't have any life, heal cut, no grievous wounds on the side of the Olaf here. So it kind of feels like, how are you going to stop him? Because you're not going to step on the blobs, right? You're not playing that mini game, so you've got to at least reduce the healing if you're just going to go fisticuffs against him, as the dragon does get started up. Mountain Soul on the menu for both of these guys. Is now Niners.
Oh, Dunlop.
Potentially.
Good engage on the side.
Dunlop?
Sidus is very low, and he will go down. Breezy Bay looking for more. Great kick. Arkezis has nowhere to go. And that will mean the Dragon going over to the Niners.
Yeah, just a split team fight, right? You realize Hockey's not even there. He's pushing bottom side. You, as 3 members of RIT, are trying to contest this Dragon. You have no eyes on Dunlop. You don't know where he is. And the only way Arkezis dies is if they don't know where the Lee Sin or the RE is, right? If a Charm lands, if a Sonic Resonance lands, and he gets the flash kick on, that's how you die there. So marking these 2 members for RIT is gonna be the most important thing come this mid game, because if they don't know where they are, they're gonna die here as a team fight breaks out in the mid lane.
Pop Blossom will catch 2, but not Personify or Red. Super Mega Death Rocket gonna get him low, but the Lee Sin's still alive for right now, but Maxander will see to it that he goes down.
Really well played from Maxander and Hockey, right? A nice Pop Blossom, good cease and desist like you mentioned, and RIT still looking for plays, not giving up after they lose a couple members here. I like that. You've got to respond play for play. You can't let the Niners get off more than a couple moves here. If they use it on the Dragon, they have to reset. If they don't, you punish them, and really well played from both of these teams. I like how they're moving across the map and using their specific champions in their best scenarios, right? In the corridors for the Niners. For RIT, it's big open team fights, right? In the mid lane, getting max Pop Blossom value. I think both of these guys have solid win conditions and identities. It's just who can execute when and where.
Yeah, and you talked about just now the open fights that have been working for the side of RIT. But remember, these close quarters fights are going to work really well for them too, provided that Hockey and Haxor can just pop off in the jungle and provide room for Arkezis. It's a little bit easier for their composition in open space, just so the Jinx can stay alive and get out damage. But, you know, even in close combat, this will still be very good for RIT. So they've built themselves a nice little lead. It feels like there's a lot of favorable conditions that they have. They just need to play to them. As this Olaf that was running the early game is 2 levels down, Shibby.
Yeah, having a bit of a rough time, right? The constant trading and 6 deaths will do that to you. You're off the map a little longer. You're not allowed to pick up minions here. And Haxor, rough early game, but has managed to kind of crawl his way back and bash his way through into this mid game. And I've yet to see him participate in a full 5v5, right? He's had these skirmishes. He's been in some of these like 2v3s or 4v3s and stuff like that. But a solid front-to-back team fight for RIT could just seal the deal against the Niners here. Haxor is such a big threat, and if Red doesn't have Flash, I'm sure he's just dead on the spot.
Yeah, Haxor has just been Oobleck this game. You know what Oobleck is? So hold that thought as they're going to get a full engagement onto this Aphelios, and that's why you never face check as an AD carry.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little confused what he was doing. There has to be the Lee Sin or the Olaf here is with that kill, and Haxor's going to go back in.
Yeah, but Dunlop has free reign to any of the 2 carries. Hockey is going to miss the Pop Blossom completely, but Haxor on the backside meant that Dunlop has to peel back. Decision paralysis on the front side. Will they be able to take down the Olaf? They will, but he will be able to get a kill for it. Dunlop the last one standing for right now because Haxor just 1v3'd on this backline.
And gets out practically unscathed, right? The man's half health. He's still got a good median amount of health there, right? 2,000 probably at that mark there, and he's doing a damn good job 1v3ing, zoning the backline. Hockey missed Pop Blossom, and they still won that fight. He banged his head against the side wall, and they're still able to win that fight. Niners are not looking in good shape right now. I told you the gold lead was only about 1,000 separating these two teams up until the 18-minute mark. If you look over again, it's nearly 3,000, and it's getting worse for the Niners here. Red has just not been allowed to participate in any of these team fights.
He hasn't, and I think a lot of it has been a positioning issue, right? There have been a lot of times like that fight, especially where he's the first one to go down. You need to be very careful on a champion like Aphelios, and that is the pitfalls of not pairing Aphelios with a champion like Thresh. Remember, Aphelios Thresh was one of the most popular combos for a long time, and for good reason. You could get Aphelios out of danger. Lulu, not necessarily as good at it, right? Like you can still... You dump a lot of your abilities into Aphelios to make him tough to kill. That doesn't necessarily get him out.
Yeah, it's not a get out of jail free card, right? It's not. It's like a tunnel that you dig underneath, and you're finally able to go through, and maybe, just maybe, you'll see the light and escape prison here. But right now, RIT are going to start up this Baron, and let's see if the Niners can respond right now, because they have no clue what's happening. They've been able to dodge out that scuttle crab vision.
Yeah, and look at what RIT's doing. They're in the bot lane because they're like, this Olaf is the threat. Finally, some pings are going down, but this means it's going to be Haxor, Arkezis, and Zydus trying to cause some problems. No smite available. Super Mega Death Rocket going to land on a Dunlop, who's got to get out of there. This Baron is low and secured by the red side. Personality of Red is full HP, but not for long. He's got to flash away from his team, trying to dump all his damage into Arkezis in a 3v1, but he gets pulled back and can't get more and will go down. But if you are the Niners, you're screaming worth in all chat.
Of course, one member goes down for 4 Barons, especially onto that Olaf, who's now going to be pushing down these side lanes. The best thing RIT can do right now is pick up this dragon, but that's not even going to put them close to Soul Point, right? It's going to put them on second dragon. It's a long ways away for Mountain Soul here. Very shrewd and crafty play from the Niners to dodge out the vision of the Scuttle Crab to give RIT a false sense of security around the Baron, and they execute. They lose one, but in reality, they've nearly evened up the gold lead, and they've taken Baron off the map for 5 minutes. That's a double win in my book.
Yeah, big dubs in the chat for the Niners here, as doesn't matter what the kills are at, as the team is scratching and clawing their way back. Felios now on 2 items. Dunlop is a little strong too. I'm surprised that he didn't go into Horizon Focus. Could be a little bit stronger. Looking to make a play, getting into turret range here, missing the charm. Burning the ultimate, forces the TP out of hockey, but doesn't get much more for it.
Yeah, I think the Leandries is just for that HP shred. Both Vi and Zach stacking a lot of that with the Cleaver, the Sundered Sky. I'm assuming this is going to go for a Sterax gauge, and obviously Zach, ton of HP. Being able to burn that away, a little bit more valuable. Looks like he's going to opt in for the Crypt Bloom as the 3rd item here. So this Dunlop is actually quite hard to kill now, right? With the HP, with the ability power, he's not the easiest person to pick off, so you can't just throw a Vi ultimate onto Dunlop and hope to kill him. The itemization is very good for him so far. We'll see how it works out in these 5v5 team fights, but Niners are not really giving them that, right? You see RIT roaming as a 5-man kill squad, looking for someone to be out of position, looking for a team fight. Niners are just not giving it to them, and I really like this play.
Yeah, we'll see if they're able to continue to play keep away while also try and get these picks, right? Because this is where they excel, right? When they can make quick plays. You saw they were able to make quick plays earlier in the game. So, you know, this Lee Sin was doing a whole lot to try to sequester some members off, get these kicks. But as the game has progressed, as you mentioned, RIT grouping up a lot more makes this far more difficult. This does mean that Niner Esports, they haven't actually been able to do much with their Baron. You'll take a stall Baron, sure, but they're still struggling to try to get this mid-turn.
Yeah, it's rough, right? Like we said, it's that Baron that kind of just takes it off the map. I didn't think they were going to be able to do too much, especially with how far the engage range is for RIT, right? Flash, Assault and Battery. You've got, obviously, the Elastic Jump coming out from Zach here, who can hit you from a screen away. It's kind of difficult to commit to these kind of more inner turrets or these mid lane turrets because of where these guys can be placed and how instantly they can engage on you. They have to kind of play scared like this. If they don't know where Zach is, if they don't have vision of an area, if it's dark or anything like that, or they don't know where Vi is, you kind of have to play super safe, and that's just what you have to do.
I wouldn't quite call it a Baron power play, but Niner Esports did get that mid turret out of it. They secured a dragon out of it. You know, it wasn't a bad Baron at all. It just wasn't, you know, it wasn't the NECC Baron power play, right? It was trying to think of a good synonym.
It was a mild power play. It was a mild Baron. It was a
I wouldn't call it mild, but you know how like you've got like the 3 different levels of sauces at Taco Bell? It's like the mild, the hot, and the Diablo. This was probably like mild, but like you put a couple of drops of hot in there and mixed it up because you were feeling spicy that day. As this Olaf is starting to feel a little spicy as Haxor gets taken very low. And there's that Executioner's calling in the inventory for Mare.
Yeah, a little late. but finally in there. Experimental Hexplate built as well. As Olaf R plus Ghost, he's going to be running at your Jinx Mach speed. It's kind of rough to get away from him. Thresh would have been really good on either of these sides as Haxor is going to pick up the bubblegum on the bottom. Let's see if he can actually do some work. Look how much HP he gets off those blobs, though. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is just so much, right? It is ridiculous. Is Hockey in a little bit of trouble here? Does land the Pop Blossom onto the RE. Here comes Max to help out a little bit. Great stasis there. Breezy Bay will be able to at least close out on the kill, and now it's a 1v1 of the junglers, but it won't be a 1v1 for too long, as the bot lane of Niner Esports is going to get there first, but Arkezis and Zydus are also quite close. We'll see if they can turn this around. Instead, it ends up just being a 1-for-1.
Big cooldowns blown for both of these guys. No Dragon Rage, no Assault and Battery, so they're maybe hoping that they can pick up a kill. But with Arkezis and Zydus right on the tails of Red and Cream Soda, that play ends up a 1-for-1, but really well played from Hockey, right? Turning in onto Dunlop, getting as much damage as he can down, and stasising so that he can't get another dash over to escape from Maxander there. Very well played from both of these guys. And right now, we're back to less than 1,000 gold separating these teams, and we have still yet to see a 5v5 team fight from these guys.
Yeah, we haven't seen either of these teams break. They've been bent back into shape at times. Keep in mind, as they're congregating around the dragon, that teleports are coming in. Hockey isn't going to get too much distance out of it if he gets there. Remember, he's got no flash available. Neither does Breezy Bay, but Dunlop does.
Dunlop.
An extra dash on the Spirit Rush if you want it. He's hanging out on the side. Jinx is going to go get the mid-wave push in. Dragon down to about 7,000 HP. Dunlop has been spotted. CFI is going to go in. Maxander looking deep is going to force the flash out, but here comes the ultimates. It's stolen away by Maxander, but Lee Sin goes down. Olaf, a little tanky, but he's starting to fall, and he goes down next.
Jesus!
Dunlop couldn't do anything on the backside. It's a 3v2 for right now. Red has red and green guns, but Haxor with a good flash, and Maxander gets on top of him, and RIT will be the first ones to win a convincing fight here. A straight-up 5v5 goes 5-for-2 plus the dragon.
And they're going to turn their tail towards the Baron right now. Big death timers on the side of the Niners here. And Arkezis played that fight the best you could, right? Flashed over the wall. If you can't see the Olaf, put literal unpassable terrain between you and start DPSing him down. Huge play from Arkezis there. But I mean, Haxor and Maxander doing a fantastic job just kind of stuffing up the back line, right? Like a clogged nose, like a stuffy when you wake up in the morning. You can't really deal with them. It's hard to kind of get out of bed in the same way the Niners back line couldn't get out of that team fight.
Yeah, listen, early on in the game, listen, you had the Vicks Vapor Rub and everything. You were breathing good, and then it wore off. And the first nostril, Maxander, clogged you up. And then Haxor, the second nostril has fallen. And now it's just over. You got to call out of work. You're having a bad day. They were trying to fight through this. We're the Niners, but they got to go to their local drugstore, and they got to get this medicine quick, because they need to find an answer. They have no answer for the stuffy nose known as Haxor and Maxander.
The terrible duo, the twosome of pain here is RIT's topside, just making Red's life a living hell here. And like you mentioned, a Thresh would have been really good, right? Oh, you see the Zac coming in? Let me Lantern, let me get out of there. The Lulu just not able to cut it. You can make him hard to kill, but you can't get him out of dodge here. And
yeah,
big thing as well, the Baron
they're
taken. They're Delulu. Yeah, they are the little Delulu here. They're on Soul Point as well. 2.5 more minutes. Another Mountain Dragon will pop up, and that'll be Mountain Soul for RIT here. Let's see if these guys can use the Baron a little bit better than the Niners. They're able to get that mid-tier 2 down. Can they crack open the big part of the base, the inhibitor turrets here?
They've got good wards. Zydus is going to be the one targeted, but
Haxor's not here.
Arkezis is just fine. Hockey goes down. Arkezis is all alone right now. Zydus is trying to help him out. Olaf is coming too. This means that this Melio is forced to flash, but he gets rooted. Here comes Haxor trying to do some more, but Ragnarok gets popped, and Zydus is going to go down next. No! Oh, man! The Ragnarok wore off. It forced the flash out of Breezy Bay, but this does mean that the Niners were able to pick up 2 with only investing a flash.
The Niners got the
Breezy, don't
Mucinex. They were ready. Breezy is not going to be able to take that blue buff away, but a big team fight win. Using the numbers advantage, right? Using the ability to collapse. The mobility on the side of Niners does not allow RIT to be safe here, as they're going to fancy themselves a 3v5.
Personify is not allowed to be safe. You thought the Tussin was working, but unfortunately, it takes a little while to kick in. We'll see if RIT can change this around here, able to maybe get a little bit more. Dunlop is not in the area. Hacks are just trying to look for more. Cease and desist is going to be available soon, but Ragnarok is available once again. Teleport coming in from Hockey, who's going to try to target the Lulu on the backside. They managed to take him out, but it's a 3v3 right now. Hockey completely cut off, trying to use the clone to some trickery, but gets taken down all the same as RIT are beginning to fall apart, Shibby.
The moment Jinx goes down, this team composition doesn't function anymore. You have a front line for who? For what? Hockey can't do the damages. Breezy Bay's going to land the Sonic Resonance. They're chasing this man to the ends of the earth.
Are they going to be able to get him is the question, but he flings himself just a little too far over the wall. And Shibby, this is a great game, man. This is a very back and forth contest here that highlighted both what we both talked about in the early game and in the draft. How good was this top lane jungle duo from RIT going to be? They are putting in so much work. Does Niner Esports have an answer? And they've shown that through superior team play, they have a fine enough answer to be able to potentially win a game from a spot that didn't look so good earlier.
Yeah, they're navigating these team fights perfectly, right? They're waiting for the engage of Haxor and Maxander to go out. And the thing is, Hockey goes in, and it's really just Zydus and Arkezis on the back line. You've got Lee Sin, you've got Olaf, you've got Ari, all diving that back line, and they do a lot more damage than these guys. As a potential pick comes in.
Maxander off on the side. Dunlop's gone golden. Breezy Bay's going to kick the Melio. Melio's still alive for right now. Hockey with a huge pop blossom on the backside is going to force everybody off. They will be able to take out the Olaf 3v3. Maxander and Arkezis. Just Arkezis isn't there right now as Haxor is just going super deep. Maxander's able to pick up one. Can Maxander get any more? Maxander gets a double kill. Cream Soda forced to flash away as he just wants to kill Cream Soda here. He's just continuing to try and chase him down.
Look at mid.
Be damned. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Arkezis is doing Jinx things and knocking down the middle inhibitor. And guess what?
They can end.
They can't end the game. That dragon is still available, but they are going to try to end. The death timers are long. Cream Soda has to try to stop a 3v1 against some of the most fed members of the team. And Cream Soda gets shattered on the ground. RIT will finally be able to end game one. After you remember the Baron fight where he flashes deeper into the team and has to try to get the one kill. I mean, that makes later fights harder, not having a flash on Aphelios when you don't have a champion that can bail you out as well as some others. So we'll see what the teams do here. So we are into the second draft, and once again, we are seeing Aurelia take it off the table first.
Yeah, for RIT, they don't really have to fix anything if it's not broken, right? They can kind of do the same drafts. Maybe they want to remove the Olaf. They think it's a little too good in the hands of Mare there. Haxor was able to navigate that lane after a little bit. Like I said, it kind of got off to a bad start because of the flash being blown, because of them being super low on health and not really able to do Zac things. But eventually, he became this big tank that does a ton of damage, that's able to CC you out. I don't expect RIT to really kind of stray away from that composition, right? Get a scaling bot laner, put some tanks in front of them, create the space, and just team fight. As you saw, eventually they'll hit those nice 5v5 team fights where they just kind of decimate the Niners.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it on a champion other than Zac. At least Haxor is not going to have this option available to him. To be your favorite, the trauma ban. I would be banning that too. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually took out Vi as well, made Maxander play something else, because Maxander was doing a lot pre-6, right? Everybody knows that Vi hits level 6, boom, gang timer on every single ultimate, but Maxander was actually providing quite a bit more, in between ult timers, before level 6. So I'm interested to see if we're going to see this pick come through for RIT, because they still didn't even play that strong of a mid-jungle duo with it. You're going to see them go back to the Jinx, though. It's a good move for Arkezis. as Arkesis was playing fairly well in what were really difficult to play through conditions.
Yeah, you mentioned the mid jungle duo not being too good for Max and Hockey there. I mean, it was kind of designated for those later game team fights. The 2v2 was never going to beat the Lee Sin Ahri, right? That high damage 2v2 mid laner here. But Niners are going to go with something a little bit different here. They're actually going to take a bit of a page out of RIT. And I was kind of hoping for the Ludens Kai'Sa build that we were going to see. But with the vibe being locked in, this kind of looks like dive-orientated Kai'Sa, which is still good. But who are you going to dive here if they get like a Thresh in their hands or they play Poppy, that kind of stuff? Big champion still on the board for RIT to deny this very early commitment to dive here. Xin Zhao's pretty good too, right? Crescent Guard negates a lot of damage.
Yeah, Xin Zhao is quite good into this composition. And I'm interested to see what the Niners are going to pull out here because, you know, Vi Taliyah, really strong combo. We are going to see Poppy come through here. So it does make life harder for Haxor and Max Ender, and it does mean that RIT would have to heavily adjust their strategy if they wanted to go for more dashes. So I like that pick coming through here, but I don't think it's at its most effective quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see it does deny a lot of those dash champions, right? So you can't go like Xin Ahri, potentially, you know, those things. Even the Azir, right? Xin Azir is popular combo. One of the most popular ones in all across Pro League. That it denies that shuffle, it denies the dash in. Poppy is one of those champions that has innate power in the draft just by being picked, but also can deny a lot of the roster unless you're comfortable taking dash champions into it, which can be kind of rough. If you overcommit, then you just kind of stall your team out. Yeah, it just sucks being grounded.
Let's be frank, sucks. It's stinky. RIT, they do have a good angle for Taliyah here, I think. You know, obviously you don't get that much value out of the Kai'Sa, but you can really make life hard for this Vi. You can make life hard for this Poppy at times too. We will see the Ahri get taken away as the last ban. We are going to see Azir come in here for the side of the Niners. A couple of decent answers to Azir. If they want to go lane focus, there's always way. I think Shibby may have died. Taliyah will be the lock in here for the side of RIT, as I predicted. Oh, is he back? He is not back. Shibby is just gone for good, unfortunately. Anyway, I am a total genius here. This is why you should be listening to me and not Shibby. I know how draft works. This is a good pickup here for RIT. I see Shibby. I believe he's finally back. Shibby, what do you think of what has gone on here and the picks that we've seen come out for RIT?
Oh, I mean, the Bard is kind of cool if that's the...
Ootay!
Yeah, Ootay, Cream Soda on the Bard. I mean, a big pickup, right, for them. Because the Jinx and Tom Kench, if you eat the Jinx or you eat any of the members, you just throw the Bard ultimate onto them, and now they're stuck in place for the rest of your team to get into position to do DPS here. Good call out on the Taliyah. I like the fact that you can kind of split up this team, but Bard kind of negates all that. Oh, you threw a wall down? Let's just portal through and let's keep the fight going here. A lot of the damage rests onto this Jinx's shoulders once again here. It's going to have a lot rougher time navigating these team fights. The Vi, the Azir, the Poppy, these are all champions that can get onto you lickety-split.
Yes, they can, my friend. We are back on to Summoner's Rift Game 2 here between RIT and Niners Esports. RIT still on the blue side here, so it looks like Niners elected to go for red side. We're starting to see a lot of teams do that just because of the power that you can get in your first two picks. And, you know, it does mean that you are banking on your draft to give you a huge leg up here. And I do like the draft that's come out here for Niner Esports, but this is a Poppy top, keep that in mind. So quite a bit weaker, and Haxor shouldn't have many problems in this lane.
Yeah, he should be fine, right? He does relatively well into the Poppy. I feel like Aatrox, one of those champions that just kind of has a solid laning phase, especially with the lethality Aatrox that we've been seeing that rush like Eclipse, or some of them go Profane Hydra. It can be kind of rough once he starts getting those flanks onto those big team fights here. Hockey in another facilitator style role with this mid lane was on the Nico in game 1, is on the Talia in game 2, is going to be really pivotal on like getting those shoves, using the wall to roam bot lane, right? Helping his team out, get that lead, because once Arquiza starts to get going, right? Gets a lead, gets the static shiv rush, or even if he goes Kraken here, he can really start tearing through these team fights. The dive on Niners, though, is rough here. I don't think a Tom Kench is going to be able to save it.
No, I don't think so either. It's just, it's not enough here. You can pick up a priority champion on your side, like Arquizas, to buy him some more space. And once you get past the initial onslaught, it does get a lot easier, as Haxor could find himself in a little bit of trouble. This Buckler going to do a lot. Flash for flash. Haxor is low, and he will be able to walk it out.
Yeah, a lot of minions,
hit
though.
level 2 first.
Yep, level 2, flash for flash. Let's see if he can get something down. Has the Umbral dash ready to go, but Poppy with that Buckler. You're not playing the minigame, Haxor. You've got to step on the Buckler to win these fights.
Come on, you play Zach. You got to know. Although Maxander is in a pretty solid position here. As Poppy is going to try to push Haxor away, but the chains are going to go down, and Poppy is going to be in trouble. Good shield, but it doesn't matter. First blood over to Haxor. Aatrox
just goading the Poppy here, and TP coming in. Let's see if Breezy Bay looks for something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, he's playing with
here.
death.
Yeah, they know that Maxander is still in the area, but remember, Breezy Bay's level 3. Good interrupt there, and that's going to be another kill for the top side of RIT.
Oh, and that destroys Breezy's game, because if you take tab really quickly, if you're Maxander, you'll see he only picked up 12 CS. He only has 3 camps. He's got a whole bot side ready to pillage potentially here, but Maxander picks up that kill, is going to go back to dutifully farming himself here, and Haxor, a nice chain of not chain of corruption, Umbral chain.
Infernal chains,
but
right?
Infernal chain, there we go. Breezy Bay, though, not giving the respect it deserves. He should have just flashed out immediately or channeled the Q earlier. I feel like he was getting a little greedy with his abilities there.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, as Poppy had just teleported back, was full HP, Haxor was a little low, Maxander was still level 2. Maybe you think that you can do something there, but you are staring down at Aatrox and a Xin Zhao, and despite the fact that they didn't have items at the time, they still deal plenty of base damage, and you're not exactly the most tanky champion to ever grace League of Legends as Va.
Yeah, not yet, at least not until you start building some of those HP bruiser items here. So good from Maxander, altering his path on that top side, saying, you know what, this is a kill in the top lane. Let me skill E, let me skill Q, and let me just kind of slide on in here as Haxor still having a bit of a rough time.
By the way.
Yeah, I mean, the Poppy is going to cause some trouble and interference, right? The W is going to negate some of those dashes that you like to do to reposition your Q sweet spots. So you have that advantage going for yourself. And then later on in the game, Poppy becomes really valuable in giving you those numbers advantages, right? With the ultimate, just allows you to kind of boot someone or multiple people back to spawn, and you can kind of take the fight from there. So Niners, not in the worst of spots. 2 kills over to RIT, but realistically, I don't know how much more they're going to be able to do with that. We'll see if Niners can stabilize and execute this dive composition that they so have rightfully drafted themselves.
Yeah, and that's a good call out on the Poppy Hammer later on in the game. It's just a matter of making sure that RIT doesn't run away with the game prior. Scuttlecrab going to go over to Niners, but that means Maxander's going to get to the top side first. He's going to flash forward onto this Poppy, and Poppy is once again in a world of trouble. This kill will go over to Haxor.
Yeah, and that top 2v2 is never going to be Vi Poppy favored, right? Ever. They're never going to be able to realistically do anything about it, especially when the Aatrox is on the pickaxe here. I like that Maxander is just going back to the top side. This is the kind of game that we expected in game with the drafts, right? But when they picked up the Zac, we were like, oh, it's not going to be that crazy. He's going to have the self-sustained lane. When you have Haxor on Aatrox, you play towards it, especially with this bottom lane skirmish happening right now.
Red taking a lot of damage, and they're not dealing as much damage back, although Zydus is going to try to heal up with this gray health just a little bit. Personify of Red with that Ghost Burn is looking to maybe get one more Q off. The shield is there, the Ignite is down, and so does the Kaisa go down. Cream Soda got knocked out of the portal. That means Arquizas It's going to be in hot pursuit. Zaitis going to flash, land the lick. Cream Soda goes down, and RIT is winning in every facet.
Top lane's winning, bottom lane's winning, jungle is going pretty good. Hockey, the lone man on RIT, down in CS, but his job is a lot more supplementary. It's a lot more to help the team out here. Ultimate is available. Weaver's Wall can be used, especially with a lot of these summoner spells down on the bottom side. Red flash available as we see a scrap in the top side. Haxor, I like the way he's playing because he's not altering it, right? He's not like, oh, I'm going to play safer because my jungler's not here. He's still heavy trading with Mare here, so Mare always has to kind of be afraid of, is Maxander topside? His camps are up. Is he going to gank me? Haxor's not changing the way he's playing, which makes it really tough for Mare to kind of go for these all-in trades.
Yeah, it means that he has to spend time, clearing out the pink ward that gets put down, and, probably only feels super confident because Breezy Bay was up there. Maxander is now level 6, so something to keep in mind, just a slight EXP lead on this Vi, so we'll see what kind of impact can be made. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, we haven't highlighted it too much, but Dunlop is doing just fine in the CS department right now.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's just scaling on that Azir here as kill squad.
Maxander is here. Everybody's level 6, except for the ones you need it the most. Doesn't get pulled out of the portal, but gets rooted out of the portal, but it doesn't mean Personify of Red is able to walk out without a problem. And now Dunlop is coming down here, as is Vi, who is now level 6. Maxander moving into the river. He gets stunned up. Shurima shuffled, punched around. He's still alive for right now. Cease and desist because targeted onto him. He will go down. Cream Soda picks that one up.
Super confusing pathing from Maxander, right? You're getting trailed by Cream Soda and Personify, as well as this top lane matchup potentially going.
There's a lot of minions. Haxor. Here comes the World Ender, looking to end the world and the life of this Poppy, but good job on the hammer, knocking him away.
Oof, almost gets him. Yeah, I was just going to say Maxander has some interesting pathing because you saw Hockey trailing. That's how the ultimate comes in.
Cream Soda from the side. Good job by Zaitis there, eating up Arceus after the stun. Well played by both sides.
Yeah, you get the ultimate out. You get the eat out for just a Bard ultimate. Like, that's very good from Cream Soda. Hitting both of them on the edge as well. You have to believe if Breezy Bay had the assault, the cease and desist ready to go, that would have been a guaranteed kill onto Arceus or Zaitis there. But unfortunately, they weren't ready for the follow-up. I don't think they were ready for a two-man Bard ult. I'm going to be real. Tried to get the most out of it. Very well played from the Niners here to turn a bot lane play, turn some bad pathing in their favor, get that dragon going, because the dive is going to come in.
They're going to wait for the shield to fall off, and then they're going to get right on top of this Poppy. Mare has found himself in a lot of trouble, gets knocked up off to the side, but Haxor is tanking, forced to flash away. Good self-defense there from the Poppy. Been taking karate classes.
Yeah, with,
oh my god, it's exactly as we suspected.
Yep.
That does mean that there's going to be no help here for Maxander in a 1v1. He's now down a level as the crab goes over to the Niners.
Yeah, unfortunately, he hasn't been really efficiently kind of, picking up his camps. You can see he's got both his top side and his bottom side camps all up. He's been doing a really good job trying to gank and trying to just be a menace on the map here. But that's allowed Breezy Bay to just kind of outvalue him and out-tempo him, right? He's got the Cloud Dragon. He's going to pick up these grubs for himself. Like, very, very well played from Niners, abusing Maxander's pathing and his inefficiency, really.
Yeah. Maxander had this huge lead early on, hasn't been able to push it too much more, and is now going to go pretty deep here. Breezy Bay with a fantastic flash. They get on top of Hockey, and they're going to bounce two people, stun up the Tom Kench afterward. Dunlop looking for more flashes forward, gets the kill. World Ender by the Aatrox. It's a good rocket, and Dunlop has nowhere to go. He will fall. Cream Soda doesn't have enough mana for a Q as RIT come alive in that fight, get a 2-for-1.
Really well played from RIT. Crafty flash Q coming out from Breezy Bay to get the kill onto Hockey, but that big rocket plus Haxor coming in, the damage is too much to handle, and they're going to be able to get out of here. They should be. Mare is not enough on this Poppy right now. I don't think you can take this fight. Hockey, they're going to go back in.
Yeah, they're going to force the Ghost out of Personify. Vi will be able to get out as well, but you burn a summoner for a Tahm Kench Q, you are so happy.
Oh yeah, you take those every single time. Maxander, don't get greedy for the chickens. I don't think these are yours for the taking. Actually, I'm going to fight for this as Haxor and Mare, once again, in that top side. These dudes love to scrap. They like to fight. Haxor on half HP, though, might lose this.
Haxor is a level up. It does not have the World Ender available. Poppy able to walk out of the Infernal Chains, knocks him up as well. The shield is going to be really hard for Haxor to try to fight through. His buddy Maxander is up here to try to turn the fight. He's emoting on top of him too, but here's Breezy Bay looking to turn it himself. Trying to get on top of Haxor, smites him away. Poppy low, Poppy goes down. Breezy Bay pulled back in. Super Mega Death Rocket doesn't land, but the top jungle duo of RIT is just on fire right now.
And you never win that 2v2 if you're Niners, right? Vi Poppy just cannot do enough damage to a conqueror duo of Xin Zhao and Aatrox. Top jungle duo, like you said, just going ham right now. Hockey's chasing on to Dunlop.
Yeah, Dunlop should be able to get out and get away. But Shibby, it feels like I'm watching the LeBron and Wade picture, right? Wade with his arms out and Haxor dunking on everybody. It's been a rough life for the top side of Niner Esports, and they don't have much else going on the rest of the map, right? Like, we talked about, all right, this Kai'Sa might be able to do something, but if you're going to be diving so deep, you don't really want to dive into this really fed Aatrox, nor this really fed Xin Zhao. It's up to Dunlop, who, has a kill, all right, but has just had a fairly quiet game outside of that. Arkezis is going to get taken out here almost assuredly. Personify of Red, well, that's a good member to use a dash on.
Yeah, that's very, very well played. Picks up another kill. Has one in his pocket right now.
9-3 curse.
Realistically, 9-3 curse potentially is the
Here we go.
Scoop.
It's starting. Hockey is going to go down. It's starting.
Oh,
Maxander gets caught out. Not well timed on the knockup. We'll see if Maxander is able to do anything more. Personify of Red is here. Tahm Kench trying to get in and help out his buddy Maxander. He will be able to eat him up. Is Zydus going to be able to walk all the way away? Arkezis is here too, ready to turn if they want. But here is Azir lying in wait. RIT will be forced out of their bottom side jungle.
Nice scoop coming out from Dunlop to get the kill onto Hockey there. And solid proactive plays coming out from the Niners. Good individual plays, but also team coordination. All those kills, all those picks is going to allow them to pick up their second dragon here. We might be facing a 24-minute Dragon Soul here for themselves. They can keep control of this objective. Whoa! That was a lot closer than it should have been. Ocean Soul on the menu today. Would be very good for the Niners to sustain against Haxor and the rest of the gang. Haxor took some counter shots.
Though. Poppy's out of mana, and Haxor has plenty more HP where that came from. Does have teleport available if he wants to get back to the lane, so that'll be just fine. No other objective up other than the Rift Herald. It seems pretty solid to use here. But I must say, Shibby,
look at the
Niner
squad.
Esports, pick up one, you pick up another, you start to get there, but could make a big play here because they know that Poppy couldn't resist going in. Here comes Maxander, Hockey coming through as well. The hammer whiffs, and Mare is going to go down. Hockey is going to pick up his first of the game. This does mean that Rift Herald could be RITs for the taking.
Just emoting saying, yeah, he's like, you know what? I know there's 3 bot. My 3 in the top side are much stronger. You're not going to die of this. Wait a minute.
They are going to die of this because
trouble.
Guess what? Your Jinx is left all alone. Chomper's going out. Zydus trying to run a block there. I like what Breezy Bay tried to do there, but here's Dunlop serving him up on a silver platter as this Azir is making some plays.
Very, very well played from the Niners. 4-man kill squad here. Just doing work, pressuring Arkezis and Zydus, just absolutely matching dive for dive.
Oh, Haxor's down here. Personified with a good ultimate to try to get away. We'll be able to get credit for that turret. Ends up dying, though. It's a 5-0 in the Aatrox, by the way.
5-0-3 on the Aatrox here. Hello? Hello? Are we back? Hello? Am I back?
I don't know, bro. You know, I just don't know anymore after the first one, right? Can't tell if we're taking pauses or what. It's just been a right. Listen, you know, your internet service provider has realized that you've hit the quota for games cast today because you had to hop on earlier.
I think that's it. I think Spectrum is trolling me just a little bit here.
Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, but not sorry that this game has gotten a little bit closer here. As Niner Esports has really just gotten a couple of kills here, a couple kills there. They're still down 3,000 gold, but it does not feel like they're out of this game by any stretch, especially after seeing a Fed Aatrox and a Fed Xinjiao. All right, Shibby's dead. I don't know when Shibby's coming back, but he is dead. Vi, on the bottom side here, they're going to try to make a play on the Haxer. It's two of the stronger members here of the side of Niner Esports. World Ender going to get popped. They just need to wait it out. Chains are going to come out, but Breezy Bay trying to stick with Haxer. Haxer does not have any help coming. Breezy Bay goes in, knocks him up, but he dies all the same. World Ender pop. Haxer knows he's got to try to get away. He's got to try to heal up a little bit more. Flashes forward on the Dunlop, who knocks him to the side, and it's a shutdown going over to his ear. But the Rift Herald charge will come into the mid lane. Twitch chat going to show up and make an appearance and go tank up a couple of turret shots here. We're going to go for a second lovely Sunday drive here, a second crash, 2 turrets for RIT. Arkeezus going to get a lot of gold for it. Do we see a third crash? Maxander. Oh, Maxander? All right, he's going to try to get out of this one at the very least. I like this. He's running through the 90s right now, running all the way around. He's doing a ring around the rosy, finally goes to the wall.
Whoa!
And now he could potentially be caught out. He's stunned, but eaten up by Zetas here, as Hockey is trying to create some space. Good chompers by the Jinx, but the Bard portal is going to get them a little bit closer. It's a 3v5 for right now, as Tomcan's trying to do what he can to slow him down. Cease and desist. The flash means that Arkeezus is got caught by a piece of it, but Arkeezus is going to go down. Hockey now in trouble next. Big double knockup. Haxer from behind, but Haxer realizes this is not a fight you can take, as the Miners able to go and pick up 3.
Really well played from the Niners here to turn that shenanigans of RIT back on its head, but they're going to go
World
for a 2v4.
Haxer is putting out a lot of damage. He helps kill one. 3v1. Can he get the job done? He's trying to wait out these cooldowns, but he gets knocked up against the wall. There's now a turret from Azir, and Dunlop picks up kill number 6. This Azir's been hitting the gym, clanging and banging the weights, and is starting to get buff.
2,000 gold nearly separates these two guys right now. RIT and Niners back and forth slugfest once again here. Really good from the Niners to kind of take advantage of like the RIT kind of just like, you know, waffling about in the top side.
What was Alexander doing?
I don't know. I was just kind of taking the Herald for a spin, right? Maybe he was looking for a knockup. Maybe he was looking for some true damage.
He's doing donuts in the top side jungle.
It was pretty impressive, I'm not going to lie. Style points for sure, but Zydus is going to die here.
He might not. Poppy does burn the teleport. They want to put heavy emphasis on this dragon. It is soul point if they puts them close to soul point if they pick it up. Tom Kent's going to get served up, going to get a shield, but going to die all the same. Dunlop is going crazy right now. Reset onto the dragon. It's going to be a 5v4. We'll see if RIT wants a piece of this. Arkeezus not quite sure. Sumega's Death Rocket coming out. Doesn't get the kill. Good Bard ultimate there. Cream Soda in a little bit of trouble as Maxander is in deep.
Oh, look at Arkeezus.
Looking for a little bit more. Breezy Bay on the backside has to flash away. But now it's Haxer getting very low. Goes down. Doesn't get the heal. It's a 5v3. Breezy Bay trying to get close. Maxander is healthy. Hockey is healthy. We'll be able to go in onto Breezy Bay. Cream Soda is low. Cease and desist going down onto Hockey as going to slide into Zazir, looking for a little bit of extra damage. Hockey very low. Hockey goes down. Maxander going deep is going to be able to pick up one. Arkeezus alive for right now. Can he get the resets? Not quite, but he will fall. It's a double kill for the Azir, as the Azir is standing back and fighting, but going way deep is Maxander, able to take him down for a triple kill. But Miner Esports still able to take this turret, still getting the edge of RIT in these fights.
Yeah, and that was just off of Zydus going down super early. Niners get the pick onto him. They're forced into a 4v5, and when you don't have that Tom Kench, Arkeezus can't really position aggressively. You do see Zydus trying to portal in. Yeah, they want to try to do something here.
Weaver's Wall is available too, Shibby. There's a good opportunity here. Personify of Red cannot get over the wall. Will be able to dash through, but dashes through a stun, flashes away as well. Tom Kench getting a little bit deeper here, but still very low. Here's a matching TP from Dunlop, who does have Emperor's Divide available if he wants to go for something cheeky, but Minor Esports going to spend their gold.
Dunlop just doing a good job scooping up the members of RIT every single time. He doesn't have to go for these big 4-man, 3-man Azir ultis. He gets one, scoops it into his team, and that's the numbers advantage that you need to pick up these objectives. Quietly but quickly, they've been able to stack up these dragons, and in around the 24 to 25 minute mark, they're going to be looking at an Ocean Soul, and whether RIT is ready or not, they're going to have to fight.
Maxander has certainly been doing a good job in terms of getting kills, getting assists, but has not been able to control these dragons. And Hockey and Arkezis have not had the greatest of games. Looks like Minor Esports, they're going to rip this Baron. Haxor's teleport is not up yet. Hockey's teleport is not available, but he's up here anyway. Haxor's teleport is going to come up very soon. They need to try to find a way in. Zydus is here. Teleport coming. Super Mega Death Rocket will not secure the Baron, but Poppy could be in a little bit of trouble trying to get closer to the team, force the flash away. Cream Soda can't go through the portal. Zydus is on the other side. Everybody's going to try to get through. Stun's coming out. Cream Soda is going to go down as they're looking for more. Breezy Bay able to get away. Poppy going to drop the hammer down, only hit one target, but it's still not a favorable fight. Haxor is going to force the Poppy to go in and die. They will lose the Baron, but pick up 2 kills for it.
I feel like I've seen this before. Niners picking up a really early Baron, losing a member or two. He's saying it's worth, but can they actually use this Baron to push some of these towers down? Deja vu, right? Like, I feel like we just were in this situation in game 1. And Arkezis on this Jinx is getting bigger and bigger right now. Still on that Kraken Slayer, though, unfortunately, is on that one item. He's going to pick up that second one pretty soon. I'm pretty sure on this back, he has IE, and that's when the stuff is really going to start getting rolling for RIT. The resets plus Kraken plus IE are going to start to hurt the Niners, who aren't the tankiest of individuals, right? Poppy is sitting on one item and a couple components. Realistically, this team is pretty squishy.
Yeah, they just need to make conditions very hard for Dunlop and Personify of Red, because look, Shibby, they're both on 3 items. Cream Soda could be caught out here as the Blast Plane available, but no, it's actually Haxor the one who's caught out because he used the item that called up 3 of his teammates.
Very good job from Cream Soda there, and good from Niners to kind of collapse on here. Arkezis is on the wrong side of town right now.
Yeah, Dunlop, look at how one auto attack chunks him out. RIT forced to try to get away. Cease and desist is available, and it will be used on the Hockey, but see, this is going to eat him up, and they're going to try to turn this one around. Hockey gets stunned. It takes a lot of damage. He's forced to flash away now, but Breezy Bay gets caught out, and Hockey is able to get the revenge. We'll see if RIT wants more, but Arkezis is going to back up here.
And this Baron not getting too much right now. Got the tier 1 in the top side. Mare just doing a good job splitting, forcing somebody to answer him right now, but realistically, this was a takeaway Baron. 20 seconds though, and Niners have complete control of this bottom side here. RIT is walking into darkness right now. They've got a face check, and it's rough because Dunlop and the rest of the crew can just kind of kill you instantly. They have to clear out all this vision right now. You look at Red, you look at Cream Soda, and you look at where Dunlop is. It feels like they don't really want the dragon, but they're just kind of goading RIT into a position where they can take this team fight.
Well, Vi isn't quite here yet. Arkezis is the one who's tanking up the dragon, so he's missing a little bit of health. Vi is on the way. Bartle whiffs. Poppy going to try to knock out Xinjiao, so they're going to try to make it a toss-up here. Who's going to secure this dragon? It's stolen away. Breezy Bay got there first. Ocean Soul from Minor Esports.
Niner Esports doing a good job right now. Really big Poppy ultimate. We talked about how big those were going to be later on into the game, giving you those numbers advantages. Swatting Maxander out of the pit, saying, this is my Ocean Soul. This is my dragon. You're not allowed to be here. You didn't pay rent. And Maxander, unfortunately, isn't able to get back there in time. And they also lose out on Haxor, who had a massive lead, but is not that lifesteal drain tank Aatrox that we're so used to. This is a lethality Aatrox. He can go down very quickly.
Yeah, he's gotten less and less lethal as the game has gone on, Shibby. He's the one who's too squishy, starting to die, right? Just because Dunlop is super strong. Personify of Red is really strong, and now they have to try to cut through an Ocean Soul. Shibby, I don't know if you look at the inventories, they have no heal cut. This is going to be very difficult. Almost everybody on Minor Esports is their own Aatrox at this point.
Yeah, no grievous wounds at all. Hockey has to be thinking right now.
Don't do it. Oh, Hockey. He's going to go down without anything needed from Dunlop there. A critical loss. Oh, here comes the teleport coming in. Breezy Bay can't find a way out. Breezy Bay, do they have enough damage to take him down? They do, but here comes Dunlop. He has his ultimate back available, but it's going to be Haxor who gets on top of him and forces him out of the fight. Meanwhile, Arkesis is trying to kite out the Poppy here, but he's not having any help, really. Personify of Red is super deep, trying to survive. He's able to pick up one kill, but he ends up dying. Dunlop is back into the fight, but Haxor's going to turn on him. Haxor in the middle of 3 members, taking a lot of damage, hit up against the wall. Dunlop goes golden, but he manages to get 2 kills, and Zydus is going to go down for the 3rd. This Azir is just way too far ahead.
13-2-7, Dunlop putting on a clinic. We talked about how this champion is back in the meta. He's not disabled anymore, and just putting in the work right now. Hard carrying Niners to a potential victory here. They're going to get themselves, at minimum, an inhibitor turret here. They can probably pick up the inhibitor as well, as the death timers are still long for RIT. Baron's up in 45 seconds. They can reset, get back onto the map, put the vision down, and deny RIT any chance of contesting this, especially with Poppy available. You can burn this Baron down super quick with the Azir Kai'Sa.
It's bad news for RIT. They need to do something here. They just have not had an answer for this Azir, and it's easy to see why. It's difficult to get on top of him, right? Maxander is your best bet, but he has to hit a Wind Becomes Lightning, or else it's going to be really hard to get on top of him. Hockey has not been able to join many of these fights, and when he has, we haven't seen Weaver's Walls that have split the teams up, right? We talked about, oh, you can just Bard Portal through it. Cream Soda hasn't had to do that, so he's been able to put the Bard Portals in more creative spots to help out the team a little bit more. RIT, they need to find an answer and fast.
Oh, Bard ultimate does come
Maxander?
down. Maxander?
Uh-oh.
They're getting caught out a little too much on some of these objectives. If they clean up their game, snowball that top lead into objectives, that's where you can really start kind of, getting the ball rolling and ending these games, because there should be no reason where you're losing 4 dragons in a row when your top side's so good. You can teleport your Aatrox down to win some of those team fights.
Yeah, it just felt like they were very uncoordinated. It felt like you had 2 players on the top side, 3 players on the bottom side, and they just couldn't link into 5. But Shibby, we are into our final draft of the evening with Niner Esports on the blue side and RIT on the red side. And we already seeing the first ban Vi come out, acutely aware of what Maxander did on that champion in game 1.
Yeah, just removing that from the champion pool here. And I like Niners' approach, limiting the jungle, getting yourself a good matchup, but will it work on the blue side? B1 Prio, very, very important. A lot of coaches, a lot of players think that blue side's really good right now because of certain B1 champions like Senna, like sometimes Nautilus, unfortunately, or even stuff like the Varus up and available onto the table here. I feel like RIT is going to have to use this ban for the Azir. I don't think they give that away again. No offense to Hockey, but removing that away from Dunlop's pool and forcing him onto something else, maybe a more even matchup, could be the reason to win here. This final ban is going to be very important, and the Azir is going to get taken away. Respect where it's given. Dunlop gets the ban drawn for himself.
Yeah, he was lopping them up, and they were done. So we'll see what this first pick is here for Niner Esports. It is going to be that Jinx that we presumed that we were going to see. This Vi not available for the side of RIT. So this does mean you're going to have to get a little creative. Again, you mentioned the Nautilus earlier would be a pretty fine pick. I feel like Nautilus Senna would actually be the pairing that you would want to go for, but perhaps
Nautilus
going
Kai'Sa?
a little bit more aggressive here with this Kai'Sa lock-in.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to press R on Nautilus, and Jinx is either forced to flash or ghost away. If she eats that ultimate, the dive is ready to come in. Instead, they're going to opt in for Rakan. And I don't like this, right? When you need to lock somebody down, I feel like as elusive as Rakan is, as mobile as Rakan is, you can dodge out a lot of his skill shots. You have to flash R, and even then, the Milio is going to come in, and that charm is going to get instantly cleansed. You would much rather have a knock-up if you're on the side of RIT, because right now, it looks like Personify of Red is not in any danger.
Yeah, and also going Kai'Sa, you would like to go Kai'Sa instead of Xayah, right? You lose out on the power you get out of the Xayah Rakan duo. You lose out on the CC that Xayah actually brings to the table, which is relevant against a champion like Jinx. And now you've got to stare down a Volibear. This is really something to worry about. Now we are seeing that Bel'Veth come through here for the final pick of the first half. That is a Max Anders special. If Poppy gets through, it could be problematic. However, I would be very surprised if it did.
Yeah, I mean, Mare is more than welcome to kind of pilot that into the top lane here. You kind of have to bend the Poppy out. I feel like Poppy and a Bel'Veth just fundamentally is such
also
a good matchup. Yeah, Rakan denies all the engage potential. It's rough, right? RIT have kind of drafted themselves into a bit of a hole here. Let's see if they over-index onto their composition, or they try to start flexing champions out to kind of deal with what the Niners is bringing. Because right now, they've got Jinx, they've got Milio, and they've got a solid frontliner in the Volibear. Whether he goes top, whether it goes jungle, could do a lot of damage. Ahri is actually going to be removed here. I feel like Mare just slams the Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, RIT would have to pick it here, or pick something that's really good into it. I just am not seeing it, Shibby. I'm really, really surprised. We'll see what the lock-in is here for RIT. They are going to go with the Hui, so you will get some range here. But, I mean, I would be highly surprised if Niner Esports didn't just lock it in here. This feels like a draft gaff.
The issue is that if you do lock Poppy here, like you said, you leave yourself up open to that really susceptible red side counter pick. RIT saved it for Haxor. He's definitely got something in the pocket here if he's willing to kind of let that through the draft. What can you pick, Niners, to negate some of this power? I'm going to opt in for the Aatrox. And now, what is the answer, Haxor? Is it the Gragas? Is it Jax that we've been seeing a lot of, potentially Cassante, or do you have something even more insane in mind here? It's gonna be the Gwen ripping through Niners here. Let's see if it can match up against this Aatrox. I don't really love the Gwen because the amount of range on the Niners is so long, right? Aurelion, Sol, and Jinx, champions that have found a bunch of success at the pro level, right? I mean, APA won a championship off this ASOL, right? Like, he was putting in the work. And this champion, I don't feel like it's going to be pressured, especially against the way the guy's going to have a jolly good time free farming the lane.
This is an ego pick, plain and simple. I mean, obviously we play the games for a reason. We'll have to look at Max Ander and Haxor to try to do the things they did in the last game, but they are on more carry-oriented champions. I would say that when you boil the champions down to their core, that Bel'Veth and Gwen are better at carrying a game than Aatrox and Xin Zhao. So if they're able to have that same amount of success, then maybe this works, but they'll be hard-pressed to try to see it through. Going with Ghost, it just makes sense this game, but I don't know, man. They're going to need to really get ahead early, and if they don't, I mean, this is Niner Esports' game to lose.
Yeah, I mean, this comp on RIT's side is forced to get things done early, get action started. You do have Haxor as your kind of late game insurance, let's say, but it's not nearly as effective as Dunlop and Personify of Red here. The Jinx ASOL combo, the double scaling menace. All right, you replaced that Jinx earlier on with Smolder. It was the double scaling Dragon menace, right? You've slotted it out for something a little bit more proactive, reset heavy. You have the Aatrox Jinx combo, so those resets are going to be coming in as Zydus is going to miss that first grand entrance.
Oh, and by the way, Zydus is their only engage, really, right? Like, yep. Max Anders, sure, is able to like walk up, slide through, knock somebody up, but it's not the same as using your W, as using your grand entrance, using the quickness. And you can see here, I mean, they're just getting bullied really hard. This lane is looking really strong for the bottom side of Niner Esports, and they've got ridiculous scaling.
They've got ridiculous range. They've got ridiculous scaling. And Zydus, you miss one or more of those W's, and you're going to maybe lose your life here, if not a summoner spell. Doing a good job spacing it out right now. Hockey on this way. I've been liking this champion and seeing it in the mid lane. I think it's actually one of the better designed champions in League of Legends in recent history, right? If you think of like the Skarner, the Smolder, the Yuumi, all that kind of stuff. I feel like Hui is a pretty fair champion.
I think that his, what is it? Is it his QW or his WW, whichever one? The thing that makes the circle on the ground that does 1,000,000 damage if you're low. I think that either comes out a little too fast or needs to be a little bit smaller. I think that it feels like, I mean, I even saw it a lot in, you know, some of these high level games. I saw it in the Winthrop game yesterday. I mean, it just felt like if you were near it when it was put on you, you just died no matter what, unless you had a dash or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mini ASOL W, right?
Yeah,
Where he just drops it on the ground. Yeah.
It is balanced by the fact, though, that if your teammate stands in it, you won't die. But nobody knows that, it feels like.
Nobody does that. Nobody wants to stand in it.
No.
Right
your
now,
brain just says don't stand in it. It's just like Rakan W. Your brain says don't stand in it.
Exactly. Niner Esports and RIT.
Here we go.
Much slower pace of a game here is Breezy Bay. He's looking for something, but Haxor is going to slide on out of there. Both of these guys, both of these teams just content on farming back and forth. Why not? If you're Niners, you'll take a slow, methodical game state. You're ASOL, you're Jinx. You'll want to farm up, and when you have your items, when you're ready to fight, you're going to hit a lot harder than RIT. You said the onus, Yanni, was on RIT to make things happen, to make plays early on. Don't know if this Belveth has been really able to do that. I didn't see him invade. I didn't really see him pressure Breezy Bay. Hasn't been really able to gank anybody. Like, who do you really go for? Dunlop's going to be able to just fly on out of there. Cream Soda can deny everything that Maxander wants to do with one soccer ball. Realistically, Mare is the only target, and I don't think Haxor really wants to fight until he's comfortable at level 6, so he can really start shredding through some of the HP bar of this Aatrox.
Yeah, the only way you're going to actually be able to do anything is if you're able to get that crushing maw off from Hockey, the EE, in order to CC Dunlop just enough so that Maxander can slide in. But outside of that, I mean, it's probably bot lane. Zydus hitting one of his Ws, right? Other than that, you're just not going to see much because these top laners are just going to continue to bounce waves off of each other and trade EXP.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, though, is if Niners do want to kind of be more lackadaisical and do want to just ping-pong waves back and forth, it gives a lot of objective control for Maxander, who scales really well with the Dragons, with the Heralds. Once she hits level 6, she gets into that, you know, big...
We could see a fight break out here, Shibby.
Manta Ray form is, the Dragon is going to be on the menu.
Hockey is level 6, but gets in gray zone by Breezy Bay. Maxander is here to try to help out. Knockup goes down, but here comes Dunlop. Breezy Bay getting very low. Hockey the target. Ultimate missed. Its first blood going over to Maxander, who flashes away. Personify of Red, full HP, but no mana, so he's not able to get off these empowered rockets. He does pop the Ghost. Arceus doing a lot of damage. Dragon Breath is on him, and he will be able to kill Personify of Red. It means Dunlop is forced to turn away, forced to flash out from Zydus there. And RIT, they win on the bot side critically.
This is a scary Dragon, though. Health bars are low. Dunlop is level 6. He might be able to execute potentially.
So
no, he's just able to get it.
Maxander's in a weird spot here, but he just can't push any farther forward. Knockup lands. Maxander looking for more, but Breezy Bay's respawned. The Dragon Breath is going to go down. So he's just going to heal up enough, but look, he's just going to float on and try to burn away the Rakan, who's forced to flash out.
Maxander, you need to get out, buddy. Your jungle is not yours. You used your team fight win to go for the Dragon. You must concede this part of the jungle. Breezy Bay is going to walk in. He's going to pressure Maxander out potentially. Never mind. He's just going to be like, you know what? You walked out. I'll take the Grom. I feel like Niners could have gotten a little bit more off of that, but it feels like instead they're going to use this move to go for the Grubs. Rightfully so. They know most of RIT is on a reset, although Dunlop, half HP, no ultimate available. I don't know if he's going to actually be able to secure all 3 of these as you see RIT collapsing onto the grubs.
Yeah, they're sending Zydus up top here. Dunlop is going to be the first one sequestered out. Haxor is in the area. Root goes down. Dunlop in trouble, floats over the wall, but it's now Breezy Bay, who's surrounded by damn near everybody. Aatrox isn't even going to be able to help out. Hockey is going to be able to pick up this kill, and then it's going to be 2 grubs over to RIT. Could be a little bit more. Flash burn by the Aatrox, World Ender as well. Personify of Red is just trying to hit, but isn't doing much more, but they do force off RIT. Haxor's now in a little bit of trouble, gets rooted up, gets zapped, trying to get away. He's super slowed, but the ghost is popped. Dunlop is floating through. Ultimate goes down, but it gets dodged out.
Ghost coming in clutch for Haxor. RIT deny the triple herald. They do burn quite a bit here, but you look on the bottom side, Arkeezus gets some much needed alone time with this turret. He picked up a wave, he picked up a plate. He's doing pretty good for himself. On this Kaisa is going to be a massive threat onto Dunlop or Personify of Red once the dive threat goes in. But with the Niners bringing up their AD carry, bringing up the rest of the squad here, they're able to pick up the final 2 grubs. And 3-0 so far. RIT invest a lot. Don't really get too much out of it other than that bot lane tier 1 plate for Arkeezus here.
And the lane assignments are interesting here, Shibby. So Haxor's going to have to back, has teleport available. Interested to see if they're going to just head back up top, because Personify of Red and Cream Soda are now on the top side right now. And that leaves a favorable 1v1 for the Aatrox down here. Although he's missing some HP, we all know what an Aatrox can do to a poor, lonely AD carry.
Yeah, you never want to get face-to-face with an Aatrox here. No matter how fed you are as the AD carry, right? He will just turn it on its head. And it looks like they're just going to go for the 2v1s on both sides. Let's see if they can
knock up lands, but look at the burst damage coming out for Arkeezus. Zydus realizes he can't dive any further. But we know TP on the Aatrox. This is very beneficial for RIT's bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, they're able to get that back out, and RIT is going to pick up another plate potentially here. Mind you, they don't have any grubs, so they're not going to be able to get that true damage dot onto the turret, but it's still going to be more than enough damage here. Another plate going into the favor of this bot lane. Arkeezus is just kind of benefiting from Niners overcommitting and overloading onto certain parts of the map. Does not feel pressured, doesn't feel like he's in trouble, and he's going to, you know, kind of scale into this mid game really, really well. I'm sure after this wave, or maybe another wave after this, he's going to have a full item.
Oh, yeah, without question. That means the pressure is going to be on a big time for the Niners over here. We're seeing Breezy Bay on the bottom side here. Zydus level 5 still. So is Cream Soda, but critically missing out on the Rakan ultimate. This is bad news. Junglers just floating around the bottom side. I like to see this. It's a bit of a different gear from the prior games, right? Both of these junglers now paying strict attention to their bottom halves, as the top halves were just not able to get it done on both sides through the first 2 games.
Yeah, quiet game so far. 3-0 kill lead. Breezy Bay once again back down in this bottom side. Just trying to help Personify out. Once Arkeezus back here, he's going to have a full static Shiv, I'm going to assume, is what he's rushing. That's what all the cool kids nowadays are doing. Let's see, though. It did get nerfed a little bit. Everybody's doing it. Why not? Well, right?
It did get nerfed. It did get nerfed.
Oh, he's gonna rush Kraken here. He's got more than enough gold in his pockets, and that's a huge power spike. You look on the side of RIT.
Here we go. Wait a minute. Fight up from the top side. Haxor's a level up. There's that World Ender used. Needlework, not quite getting the damage in. Maxander does get stunned, but is still in Manta Ray form, so able to just slide away any which way that is necessary.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at the items on the side of RIT. They've got their first legendaries completed. Archangels, double Kraken. This is huge, especially for this dragon. Niners, you can't fight this. You don't have the item advantage. Instead, they're just going to muscle out Maxander and Hockey here. Bit of a split.
They have priority.
Pincer move coming out from these guys.
Yeah, let's see. Zydus is now level 6. Charms up 1. Charms up 2. Look at the burst damage. Cream Soda's down. Personify Red has to go over the wall. But look at what Dunlop is trying to do. He gets a lot of damage in, but isn't able to close out on any kills.
Dragon does go down, and as a Cloud Soul that blesses us in this Game 3, Yanni. Ocean for Niners here, and a Chemtech for RIT. They're going to split it 1-1 apiece, which is exactly what they wanted. They just need one dragon to make it go late game. It's an extra 15 minutes. Zydus is completely fine.
Breezy Bay? Maybe it's just a bait for Maxander to get here, but Breezy Bay has some HP. The shielding is there, but look at the damage. It's too much. You mentioned the item differential. It feels like the Niner Esports just didn't think about that.
Maxander is in the mega form, like you mentioned. Can just go through walls if he so pleases. And they're going to zone him off of all this XP, all these minions. Yeah, Maxander can just do that. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're just getting choked out here. Personified Red doesn't even have any mana either. So staying is really, really rough. And that's a LPL maneuver, you know, that I'm sure you've seen it on TikTok, Shibby. I know you're a purveyor of League of Legends TikTok. What happened to Prince a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, just zoning out, using your jungle, using the priority, just zoning out here. As Haxor isn't a 1v2, but I don't know if they can take this. He's kind of strong.
He just wants to fight it. World Ender gets popped. Maxander's a little far away. Ghost gets burnt. Maxander's still trying to bring up the rear here. Remember that? Kraken Slayer ready to release the Manta Ray, perhaps. Big double knock up here, looking for more damage. Haxor trying to kite out, but he goes down anyway. It's a 1-for-1 for right now, but the Manta Ray gets refreshed. Super Mega Death Rocket does land. Good flash from Maxander as he's run out of dashes. Hockey is up here, and he does beat Dunlop to the play. Smite gets used. Knock up there. Maxander able to get out of the Infernal Chains, but Zydus has roamed all the way up. Now, let's see if Dunlop can try to help out a little bit, trying to get burn damage onto Hockey here, but the charm does land. Ultimate down from the Hui is going to get a very low. Crushing Maul lands. Look at the damage. The skies descend, and somehow, some way, both teams limp out of the fight.
Oh my God, they're just fighting back and forth. No fatal injuries, no fatal wounds on RIT. Gonna back off, and looks like Niners are actually gonna get the 6 grubs here because of all that fighting. Breezy Bay died and came directly to the grubs here. Very well. Wait a minute. No, they're gone. The grubs have disappeared.
Oh, no.
I lied. Rift Herald 14-minute spawn has denied the 6 grubs. 3 will only be taken, and for all that effort, Niners unfortunately don't get anything else.
That hurts them so bad because Jinx with 6 grubs is actually ridiculously crazy, right? And you know that eventually Jinx should be able to get this time on this bottom turret, so that is a huge loss. At least you don't give him over to the Gwen. It could be worse, but the fruits of their labor, not ripened, but rotten.
Yeah, just absolutely sour here, and because of that, they tried to use their move to the grubs that allowed RIT to reset, and now they're able to take this Rift Herald for free. Zydus is still up here. The bottom lane of Niners have decided to put the pressure onto Arquizas, but there's no dive threat. You're playing Milio, not Nautilus. You cannot punish leaving the AD carry by himself. Arquizas is having a good time. His lawn chair's out. He's sipping a mojito. He's completely fine in this bottom lane.
Yeah, they can't kill him. They don't have any way. I mean, they would need a miracle in order to take this guy down. And, you know, Breezy Bay just farming out the top side. It's free 99. It's free real estate, whatever you want to call it. It's just been all RIT this game, and they haven't even done it through the top side. But now looking to potentially do it through the top side is Haxor looking to get more damage in. Good dodging here. The healing is not enough. Snip, snip, scissors beats paper.
Very, very handedly here, and that's a Nashor's Tooth Gwen landing full ultimate barrage onto you. We talked about this RIT composition, a little cocky, a little bit of ego, but 7-1, 5,000 gold ahead. Have they satisfied your early game demands?
I am entertained, Shibby. I will tell you that. Now, I thought most of the ego was on that top lane pick, as opposed to anything else. Maxander pick, I again think it's very good, but you know, if you're going to pick Aatrox into this Gwen, and this is going to happen, you're going to go down 20 CS, down a kill, down a turret. I have to ask, wouldn't Poppy have just been a little better?
Yeah, I feel like you take the Poppy, you put it into the team fight, you get that value.
Flash Force really knockup is there, double knockups. Man, that is ridiculous. Oh, Dunlop goes into melee range as Aurelion Soul, and it just feels like Niner Esports, they just don't have an answer to this.
Yeah, they're steamrolling through the Niners composition right now. RIT is just kind of walking in and doing a ton of damage. There's not anything fancy. It's not footwork. It's nothing too crazy. They're just going in, slamming their abilities onto Niners, and that's it. That's the game, really, right? That's all they have to do to win those team fights. Maxander is so far ahead right now, and Bel'Veth, one of those champions that if she's ahead of the damage curve, if you're not, if you're not capable of dealing with her, she can just live forever, especially once she starts itemizing a little bit more beefier. As you see, I believe she's going to go towards what is going to be the Titanic Hydra. She's going to be a lot harder to kill once she starts building a little more tank items, potentially the Guardian Angel. It's going to be rough. And the fact that she's 5-0-2, we saw why this champion was banned out from the Niners every single time. You do not give Maxander the Bel'Veth.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that it's really crazy they left the Bel'Veth open. And, maybe Niner Esports is thinking the exact same. So Maxander's going to head up to the top side here. Just look at that attack speed. And listen, they were down a level starting out that fight. Here comes the World Ender pop. A lot of damage coming out as Hockey hasn't been able to do a whole lot to help out. Breezy Bay is here, but bringing up the rear is Zidus here. Here we go. Charms coming out. Double knockup coming out. Maxander still alive for right now as Breezy Bay drops the ultimate down. Maxander trying to slide around, but Personify of Red is in the area. Big shutdowns going over to the side of Niner Esports. Guess what, Shibby? Kill score was 9-3 last time around. And Niner Esports were able to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Do they have any more tricks up their sleeve?
Balloon animals? Ties, maybe? How many swords can they eat? Realistically, Niners are going to have to do a lot more than just pulling the rabbit out of the hat to get back into this game. It's a tough hill to climb, but the gold is going on to the right members here, especially with Personify picking up that bounty, I believe objective bounty in that top side here.
Acel's ready to make a play.
Yeah, Arceus is way too far caught in a 1v2.
Look at that. Dragon Breath is super effective. He's super slow and flash for Arceus makes the play. And now Breezy Bay gets on top of him, and he kills him too.
Arceus in a 2v1 gets both. Says, I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Nice double kill for Arceus here. Haxor as well on the bottom side, picking up a big $700 paycheck for themselves. You talked about pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Arceus pulled out a miracle.
Listen, Arceus pulled a gun out of the hat there, right? He just is like, yo, listen, you're going down, buddy. You wanted this. He pulled out a fairy-type Pokemon because it was super effective against the dragon. As it was just really, really good stuff there by Arceus. And that makes this game infinitely harder for Niner Esports, right? This is going to be difficult. They had a couple of plays, get back into the game, feel good about themselves, but getting 2v1 like that is just a backbreaker.
And we haven't seen RIT properly 5v5 either, right? Haxor hasn't really been participating in some of these fights. Doesn't really need to. Can just keep up the sideline pressure on the Gwen. Is 2 items, Riftmaker, Nashers in hand. Is going to start ripping through either a team fight or this Baron that is going to be on the menu 20 minutes in. RIT is just going to let it rip.
Well, they are going to pull off of it here, so they don't want to put themselves in a compromised position as Niner Esports did respond. Dunlop does not have teleport available, so I'm surprised they didn't continue. Oh, here we go. See, this is going to land the flash knockup. Personify of Red is just dead. Now they're going to push in on this mid-inner turret, get a lot of gold for themselves, and this could be the opportunity that RIT needs to go secure this Baron.
I love how they backed off Baron and used the pockets of vision they had, right? That Riverside Baron, bush control, they had pinks in that side, and they were just ready to go. Pops the ultimate, gets the dive going, and Personify, with no summoners available really, or just wasn't able to really get out of dodge, is going to be the reason this Baron gets started.
Oh man, what happened to the Aatrox? He goes in and he goes out. Yeah, it's a 5v3 right now. Breezy Bay taking a whole lot of damage, forced to ult away. Super Mega Death Rocket gets blocked by Haki, and that means it's going to be Baron to the side of RIT. 21 minutes in, Shibby, they hold a commanding almost 9,000 gold lead.
Yeah, they're going to reset. Dragon coming up in about 15 seconds. Haxor still has TP available, by the way, so he can just mosey on to the top side, start splitting that down. He's going to force either Mare or Dunlop to answer. And realistically, Niners are in no position to fight this. You are questing on 1.5 items on your major carries here. You look on the other side, Hockey, 2 items. Arkeezus, 2.5, right? Like, he's got so much damage. Look at Maxander, Stride Breaker, Kraken Slayer in hand. You aren't getting away from him if he lands a stun or lands a knock-up, right? Like, it's rough to fight into this team. Realistically, if they're Niners, you just have to separate and catch waves as you can. Feed double waves into Jinx or the ASOL here. I feel like Mare picking this up is not worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult here. Haxor is going to get that top inner turret and is going to look for the spike. Look at all the healing. Holy crap. Haxor is just way too strong. He's uber elite, my friend.
Just absolutely on a rampage here. And if you can't kill him with 3, what hope do you have to kill him with more? And now another engage.
Volibear, big game hunting here for the side of RIT as they are just going absolutely ballistic right now. Playing at a breakneck pace. Shibby, they're looking to put themselves in an unlosable spot.
Bot lane inhibitor going down. Top lane's being pressured as well. That mid lane is not where it needs to be. The wave not escorted in, but once these 2 inhibitors go down, you have to believe that they're going to turn their tails. It's Dunlop!
Haxor tamed the dragon. He does get hit with the zap, which means he should go down here. It's going to be a big shutdown for Persona 5 Red. But looking back, the base is in shambles. They need to try to make a play here. 4v4 flash ultimate from Breezy Bay. Gets on top of as many mazes to get the kill. But it's Maxander who does a lot of damage and sustains at least a decent amount. Here comes Mare on the Aatrox looking for more. Hockey forced the flash away. World Ender popped looking for more. Knockup goes down, but they have the damage. That ultimate from Wei comes out and does a decent chunk, but they can't get anything more. They need some teammates. Maxander goes all the way in. He needs some assistance. He manages to pick up 1, and he's going to get the reset. He picks up 2, and he's going to get the reset. And he's looking for Breezy Bay next. Breezy Bay forced to run away, and Maxander is going to flash forward and triple kill the Volibear.
9-1-4 on the Bel'Veth. You take his Vi away, you take his Viego, but you can't take the carry power of this jungler. Zydus, what are you doing, my man?
You cannot stop the funk known as Maxander. The last Nexus turret has fallen. Dunlop is getting dove in the fountain, and RIT, after a rough game 2, come out so strong in game 3, play a crisp game 3, and put themselves into the finals.
Lights out gameplay coming from RIT here, and a big shout out to Maxander, right?